The Institute of African Diaspora Studies, University of Lagos, has honored about 3 persons who had the best theses across the country. The 11th and former Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Rahamon Bello, whom the award is named after, commends the Institute and the winners for their contribution towards national development. The winner, who comes from Uganda, speaks of the significance of the theses and how he feels to receive the award.
It was to establish a formal research element into African and diaspora studies in the University of Lagos. And it came up at an opportune time where we are to be able to look at relationship between Africans and their brothers in the diaspora, as well as enhancing the African studies itself generally all over the world. That was the essence, actually.
Become the reference point for research in African studies on this continent. Don't believe me. It wasn't rich. We speak about Isaac Newton. He was not a millionaire. We speak about several people who have been able to achieve significant landmarks in research. So there's no better way to keep your name growing, to keep your name alive, than doing cutting-edge research for which you'll ever be remembered for.
This study, I think, shall help us understand is to explain how religious movements emerge. Because in Africa, there is a proliferation of many religious movements. Everywhere a church is coming up. And so this study, I think, gives insight into how we can explain the rise, the emergence of religious movements, non-institutionalized religious movements, breakaway religious movements, separationist religious movements in the post-colonial world.
Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, has officially launched the 2024 Nigeria Economic Report with a firm assurance that ongoing reforms by the government will yield inclusive growth in no distant future. According to him, the strategic policy interventions of the administration of President Bola Tinubu are already yielding positive results with more optimistic projections for 2025. Senator Shettima said this at a one-day technical workshop on the year 2024 economic review at the Presidential Villa, Abuja.
We are looking at gas as critical in the development of our economy, of this nation, and we are trying as much as possible to make sure we drive the economy of this nation with gas, because we have it in abundance. We've been talking about 208 trillion cubic feet of gas. And of course today, if Nigeria take advantage of this true decade of gas, we will grow our economy to a level that will be envied.
We recognize the concerns raised by some key stakeholders regarding these reforms, including number 1, the distribution of VAT revenue among states. We have been engaging and we continue to engage with our key stakeholders in this regard to ensure that all concerns are satisfactorily addressed in our collective interest.